Okay, hello everyone. In case you didn't know, my name is Glenn, and I'm going to talk to you about scriptcs and what's new in particular. As soon as I start my stopwatch so I can tell myself I have 1 minute left. There we go. So in the spirit of trying to launch a conference, I actually don't have slides, but I'm just going to show you a couple of things that about what is new. We've had a lot of exciting things come to scriptcs in the last year. And for those of you that don't know about scriptcs, it's just a really light way to write. I'll come back to what I just scrolled over. It's just a really light way to write C# code. If you've developed with Node, with Python, with Ruby, you can get going really, really fast. You don't need an IDE. And this is something that we pushed on for scriptcs. The project's been around about 3 years. It's open source, has a good number of contributors, and it is not dying. It's still going. So scriptcs works cross-platform. You can use it on Mac, Linux, or on Windows. And so one of the biggest things that we've had people asking us since we launched was they wanted support for async await and for dynamic. And this was not possible because the Roslyn bits that we had, and we do build on top of Roslyn running on Windows, were an early CTP. But fortunately, Microsoft open sourced everything, and yay Microsoft, and they released a later version of the CTP that actually does have support for dynamic and async await and C#6 syntax. So I'm happy to announce that one of the recent things that we did with scriptcs is we actually do have C#6 syntax, and we have support for async await and dynamic. So just to show you that, I'll say like dynamic foo equals to new expando object. And then I'll say foo.bar equals baz, because I'm a developer, we like foo. And you can see that I now have a foo object with a bar property, dynamic working, running in Windows, running on .NET, thanks to the later Roslyn bits. Pretty cool stuff. The other thing, though, that we support, as I mentioned, is we support C#6 syntax. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a property, and I'll call it prop1. And I'll just say that it's going to be a getter. And I'm going to put hello, .NET Fringe. So you can see that I was able to define a property using the new C#6 syntax, which is really nice because I could just put the code for the property right in line. Pretty cool stuff? Now, another big thing that we've had people ask us is about debugging. And so, you can build some pretty sophisticated applications with scriptcs, and some people are actually doing that. And one demo that we have is a WPF demo of a calculator. Now that calculator is pretty sophisticated. It has view models and things like that. Well, what if I want to be able to debug it? So wouldn't it be cool if I could add breakpoints and things like that? And we agree. So we've actually done some work, and thanks also to the help of the Roslyn team, that we now have a debugging story for scriptcs in Visual Studio. So I'm just going to show you that quickly. So what you do is you run scriptcs, and I'm in this WPF demo directory. And what I can then do is I can type open vs, and I can type start.csx. Now that might run kind of slow, so I did it already, but what it's going to do is it's going to create for you a Visual Studio solution that will actually run scriptcs. You're going to get something like this when this finishes. And you can run this as many times as you want. So now you can see that I've got my WPF application. I'm going to dig into the view models, and I'm just going to add a breakpoint somewhere. Let's see where I'm going to add the breakpoint. So I have this add number function, and I want to be able to debug it. So I'm going to put this breakpoint, and I'm going to do a run. And you're going to see that it's actually going to bring up the scriptcs WPF calculator running in scriptcs within a second from the debugger. Any moment, it's going to come up. Come on. I'm running on a VM, so it's kind of slow. It should be there. There we go. So now if I say like 7, 8, 9, whatever, and I do plus, wait, it should have, you can see that I now have hit the breakpoint within Visual Studio. So if I'm doing sophisticated scripts, which are really like programs, because scriptcs allowed you to do includes across many, then you can see that I can use this, and I can actually hover over variables. I can use the immediate window. So it's actually quite nice. Seem useful? Cool. We hope that this will come to Visual Studio Code and we'll get it working for some of the other editors, so we actually are working on that. But, you know, to be fair, Visual Studio does have quite a nice debugger, so it's good to be able to leverage that in watches and all that stuff to its fullest. I'm out of time, but I'm going to go a little bit further because I started late. All right, and because, you know, I'm running this, so I can take advantage of that. All right, so the next thing I wanted to show you is a very cool thing that Ben Hall from the UK showed me, which is a try scriptcs path. So somebody wants to try out scriptcs, including spinning up a web server, etc. You can do that thanks to this new thing called Katacoda. Katacoda is a company that is building these interactive experiences. They're all backed by Docker containers. And they actually have a scriptcs playground, which I'm running right now. So you can see that in the browser, I have a REPL experience, and I can do console. I can run scriptcs right from the console here. So I'll do scriptcs. And you can see that I could do console.writeline. And this is running actually on Linux. I'm almost done.
Is over time.
Yeah, I'm over time. I have no idea what Hari is, but I wrote it. But this is really cool. You can try it out. And he actually has interactive tutorials for like building a web API in scriptcs and a bunch of other stuff, Mesos, Docker. It's all Docker-based, really, really cool stuff. And he's enabling you guys to create your own tutorials, which I was telling Aaron he should have something for Akka. Last thing, what's on our roadmap? The biggest thing on our roadmap right now is we want to support Core CLR. And the newest Roslyn. So we are basically going to be doing a rewrite of scriptcs on top of Core CLR. So that will be coming. If you want to find more about scriptcs, you can go to our GitHub repo. We welcome contributions. We've got a lot of contributors. We'd love to have you help us take it forward. GitHub.com/.